What's going on, NBA fans? Welcome back to another episode of NBA Central. It's me, Bobby, with the man that speaks, Stevo. It's just been break. They just broke the news. Kawhi Leonard, he tore his meniscus. That's why he wasn't even in me playing. But then we want to hit on another topic. Is Joe Mazzulla getting exposed? Y'all already know. We're going to talk about both of those subjects and a little bit more right after this.
Thank you for tuning in to the number one place for your basketball fix, NBA Central, hosted by the Cognac Boys.
All right, y'all. If y'all like what y'all listening to, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Stevo, during these playoffs, we seen Kawhi Leonard go in, ball out the first two games, had two good games, and was able to steal one in Phoenix. And it was the only game that the Clippers won in the playoff series before being eliminated last night by four guys that's playing over 40 minutes per game. We thought that it was a knee sprain, but turns out it was a torn meniscus. What is your initial reaction to that?
Your new name is not Kawhi Leonard, it's Kawhi injured. That's what that's just what it is. Like, bro, just cannot stay healthy. Like, it's unfortunate, and it's like, and I feel like people just gonna come at his head, especially with the management, like the time management, because it's like, bro, you've been doing all this time management just to get hurt. So what is the time doing? Like, what is sitting up doing for you if you're gonna end up getting hurt anyway? So it's like.
Bro.
Now Clippers is gonna be sitting, bro. Steve Ballmer probably sitting at home hurt, just depressed.
I'm
Because,
heated.
bro, for real, because like, bro, I just read a stat that I believe they out of like 300 something games they could have played, they played maybe 150.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's like 308 games. They only played
Yeah.
like 150. That's crazy.
Bro. That's crazy. And it together. And they're 80, they was like 88 and 50 something when as
like
winning.
88 and 35 when everybody
And 35 winning together, bro. Like, that's crazy. So it's
Yeah.
just like, bro, it's just unfortunate because if you looking back, even in that when they was playing against Joe, when he bumped into Joe Ingles, that was probably this. They could have went all the way. They could have went
Bro.
all the way that year, and it's just unfortunate. You just gotta sit there and make some tough decisions this coming this offseason. I think you got to sit there and think about what we got to do because you got two of your best players hurt. And one is going to be out for a nice majority of time, even more because it's Kawhi. So, it sucks. It's tough. I don't know. It's time to make a decision. If I'm Steve Ballmer, I'm the Clippers organization. It's just time to move. It's time to move something. And if I'm moving, if I'm moving on, it ain't Paul George.
Yeah, it's tough, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, because like all the load management you just spoke about, the man is always load management, not load managing. He been doing that since San Antonio days. You know what I'm saying? Even in Toronto, his championship run, he was still load managing over there. It did result in a championship. But since he's been to the LA Clippers, he started off his LA Clippers campaign by throwing a little crown on a little keychain, rolling in a drop top, talking about he the new king of LA. Bro, you ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna ever sit there and say he faking an injury, but when you got when you out here low managing and things like that, and you can't never show it for your team, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the business aspect. So when you come in here and say Steve Ballmer need to make a decision, that's what makes it difficult because he still got another year, and after this year, he still got a play option. So that's what make it.
And I know people could get on me like, bro, y'all be hard on me. People can get hurt. Like, y'all don't get. I'm like, I get it, but it's like, but the thing with Kawhi is if he not 1,000% healthy in his mind, he not gonna play.
Yeah,
and it's just
that,
like,
not us.
And he said that, and it's just like, okay, you're just never not, especially towards the end of the season in the playoff, you're not going to be 100,000% healthy. So when we was hearing knee soreness and maybe sprain knee, like, hey, I seen Time Lord come back off of a sprained MCL. Like, come on now, like, you got to at least show me something. Like, you got to sacrifice something. Like, just give it a try. Like, if we obviously see you out there and you're affecting the game in a bad way, they're gonna pull you or you gonna pull yourself. Like, we understand that, but just to say, oh, I'm not going. Everybody not 100%, so we not expect you to be 100%, but we at least expect you to try. Get paid $40 million.
Facts. And I got one question: how does this man continue to duck so much smoke We call Anthony Davis Mr. Glass, street clothes, sideline AD, whatever you want to call him. But
Bro.
Kawhi gets none of the smoke. Why? Because he quiet? That's
Right.
ridiculous, bro. He got to
Yeah.
be called street clothes, Mr. Glass, Mr. Fragile. He need to be in bubble wrap too. It's unfair to Anthony Davis. Well, I mean, it fits Anthony Davis, but it
I
should
think
fit him a little bit more than Anthony Davis.
it's more Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis still be there. When Kawhi hurt, he don't be there. He don't be in the arena. You don't see him.
That's
So you
fair.
can't even call him street clothes because you don't know what the hell he got on.
Bro, but he was present. I don't think he was
Yeah,
present the last game, but the game before he was for sure. I know last game they showed Paul George in the arena. But and that was another thing. Paul George, look, I'm not a professional. So I'm not gonna say that the doctor's over that line. But when he was out there working out that damn hard, he looked pretty good to me. He couldn't give it a try. He couldn't
bro,
go give you
doing
15,
what he was
20 minutes.
doing squats with dumbbells and shit. Like, bro.
Bro, like he was the last work I seen that he had a little thing wrapped around, his midsection or whatever, and he was doing like a little shooting drill type of thing or whatever.
Bro.
But it's just unfortunate, man. Kawhi Leonard torn meniscus, and that's gonna keep him out for an extended period of time. How do you think that this affects the Clippers now moving into their new arena? Because we said they got to make decisions, but does anybody really want to trade for Kawhi Leonard?
That's the thing. Like, I'm saying they should get rid of Kawhi, but they're not just because of the sake of that. They have to have a grand opening. They got to open up to something. So, like, you ain't even just open up when you didn't sold this whole King of LA thing. Like, I don't expect Kawhi to go nowhere, and that's unfortunate. But like, I just don't expect it, to be honest.
Yeah, because what would the compensation be like? I'm not giving up a lot to get Kawhi Leonard if he's gonna be playing less than half the games on, bro. No, I'm not giving you nothing, and they got to pay him upwards of $40 million a year for him to play less than half the games. And there's a risk that he might get injured again, or if he doesn't feel 100%, he's not gonna play. That's a tough thing to do. And Ty Lue spoke in a press conference after the loss last night, pretty much saying like, yeah, we want to get Russ back, but they can only offer him the mid-level exception, which is not that high. And there could be a number of teams that be like, hey, we can give you a little bit more, Russ. We might not give you 35, 40 million, but we could definitely give you 15, 20, 22, maybe 25. Somebody will do it.
Somebody will do it. And that's what they got to look out for. I just feel like, yeah, you kind of went for the home run, which is understandable. So you went for the home run, so you really don't have that much to build off of. So I guess you try to find a way to get some picks, because that's my only thing I think you can possibly get, or maybe a player or two. But yeah, maybe, I don't know. Like, it's just a weird situation with this going on. Like, you got two players that's injury prone, and with a lot of money on their books. So that's just a hard situation to be in.
That is. But what we're gonna see if Russ does come back. OKC again with Paul George and Russ with a better coach this time. I don't know. We could. I mean, it wasn't bad at OKC. We'll see what they could do, but that's a tough decision for Steve Ballmer, because if I'm a billionaire and I'm steady paying this man all his millions of dollars, you wasting my money. This a business. Bro. You wasting my money. So,
facts.
Oh no. But hey, we moving on to the next topic. Stevo, Boston Celtics up 10. I believe it was like 3 minutes left or something like that. It wasn't a lot of time left. They up like 10. They end up letting Trae Young hit like a 35-footer for the dagger. He was in that ice tray in the gang. You feel me? Stevo, is Joe Mazzulla to blame, and is Joe Mazzulla getting exposed?
I'm not gonna put all the blame on Joe Mazzulla for sure, because it's still the players. It's still like, once again, I'm gonna go back towards Tatum, bro. Like, everybody want to put this superstar tag on him, but when it's time to be real, and it's always Brown. But I'm just saying, you can't be sitting out here 6'10", going 1 for 10 from 3. Get your big ass in the lane. But it's some fault to I feel, of Joe Mazzulla, because the intensity is not the same as it was when Ime was coaching. Yep. And that's one thing I could tell that's different between Ime. They play differently intensively wise when Ime was out there because that's just something he preached, and a lot. I think he's more lax. I feel like Mazzulla is more offensive minded because he just worried about like certain like the way he called games, the way he runs certain plays. I could just tell he's more leaning on the offensive thing, and plus he likes to get a lot of shots up. I believe I'm not sure, but I believe Boston is shooting better 3-point percentage they did last year. But the thing with Ime is he preached defense. And this ain't been the same defense in Boston we've seen, especially the
No,
last two games.
no,
Atlanta's averaging 120 points this series.
bro.
That's not supposed to be happening. They're not a
Facts.
good shooting team. And you allowing them to score upwards to easily 115 plus a game is ridiculous. And they're not as disciplined as they usually are. And
Bro.
you got Marcus. I mean, Marcus Smart was always had them antics, but under Edoka, they was more calm. He was more
Yeah.
stern with. Ever since Ime left, you see them more flopping. You see them more like questionable fouls. But with all of them, it just it's weird. Like, so I do feel like Joe is getting exposed to some degree. I feel like Atlanta is figuring out their defensive scheme and offense, and they were applying the pressure. And this is a very very dangerous game six because they got the momentum.
Bro,
They
they
could
got the
beat y'all.
momentum, and you don't want to go back to Boston for a game seven because anything can happen. Somebody can
Anything
get
can happen,
injured. Somebody can have an off night. Trey Young can be on fire. Shit,
and this
John
is what
Collins
I'm.
had a game last night,
That was the craziest thing because he been struggling all series,
and
and
he
you
showed
allowed
up.
him to get you just allowed him to get his stuff together without Murray. So if I would be worried if Murray comes back on one, Trey is on one, and they finally got Collins to get together, and Clinton always doing what he's supposed to do. And
Yeah,
don't let and on top of that, Sadiq been playing this whole series, and Bogdanovich. You let both of them go off, bro. They can
that's
win
what
these
I'm
next two
saying.
games.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be scary because if I was paying attention to Bogdanovich and he yelling at the teammates, "Let's go, get on deep!" Like turning around,
He's
get
one
on
of those
defense.
dudes.
Like
He's
come on.
yeah.
Like it was multiple times you would see the clip, the broadcast just pan on him. Let's go, like after a shot, let's go. DVD
Yep.
up, let's go. So he hyping. So these guys really starting to believe. But when it comes to Joe Mazzulla, I think that one of the things that you really touched on was the discipline aspect. And like, bro, if the Boston Celtics even had a little bit of the defense that they played against the Brooklyn Nets last year, or in that entire playoff run last year, this would have
It's
been
swept.
over. This
Probably
would
been a
have been
sweep.
over. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I think you're right for calling out Jayson Tatum as well. Everybody pinning you as the best player on the team. But in the
But when
finals,
it's
we seen
time.
Jaylen Brown step up. And right now, Jaylen Brown last night gave you what, 35? Where are
Uh-huh.
you? Where are you?
You
They
can't
got
and I said this in the prediction that's coming out now. But yeah, I say in the prediction that's gonna come out. Is he got a lot him and not to bring in the Bulls, but him and Zach got a lot of things in common that gets on my nerve. And it's mainly they like to shoot themselves and back in the game. And I'm like, bro,
yeah.
y'all are too talented. And I mean, it's different between both of them because my frustration with Zach is he's so quick to get to the lane. That's my point with him. And with Tatum, bro, you're 6'10". You take two steps, you went the free throw line. So
And
like,
that's what pretty much happened last year, bro. Like on that run until they really got to that finals where that experience was needed. Bro, once Tatum didn't have it going, he was going to the basket a lot more
yes,
often than what he is now. But Joe Mazzulla just letting them, sit around the 3-point line, shoot it up. They taking
not
shots
going
in
to
the
get the
last few
ball.
seconds. Exactly. Not going to demand the ball. It's Brown that's demanding the ball. And then my last part is Marcus Smart. You can't be doing no stuff like
You
that, bro.
tweaking, bro.
You can't be
Like
making no last second fouls against Trey Young like that, giving them
you,
team more life and more energy and more momentum. You can't
bro.
be
That
doing
was
that, bro.
that was so stupid because the reason it was so stupid now is because if you see the next play, you sat there and played all this. You met him way before the catch in the wrong time and fouled him. But then when it was time to get game time, you gave all the respect to Trey and you let him take 4-5 steps before you got him, and then you let him switch on Brown. And then you ran the double too late. He was already pulling by the time
Yeah.
you tried to help.
Yep.
So you should
Soon
have
as
been ran the double.
Yep. Soon
So
as
it's
he
like
started to come up towards the circle, he let that thing fly.
Exactly. So it's just like the characteristic is off, the discipline is off, and Joe Mazzulla got to tighten that up. Because, like I said, Trey is dangerous. No matter how much we hate him and volume of shooting we say, bro, when he in his zone, he's one of those players when he's dangerous. He could get to the line, he can he could get you in foul trouble, and he could play make. So
Go
ahead.
He got the experience, bro. He got the experience.
Yep.
He
been to an ECF.
Y'all see what he did to Philly a few years ago.
Been to an
ECF.
To that
ECF. You know what I'm saying? And what the thing is what Quinn Snyder just realizing. Well, what he started to implement when they started to grab momentum like how they is now is that high screen and roll. Boston act like they don't want to defend it
at all.
They don't want to defend it.
I'm about to say that's their go-to. Like if you're not defending their go-to, I don't know what you're thinking. That's literally Atlanta's go-to.
Yeah, so I definitely think they missing Ime in that, especially with those defensive principles. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't easily replace that type of stuff. You either need a solid assistant that's defensive minded, Tom Thibodeau, Mike Brown, something like that to be with a good offensive head coach, or you're going to have some troubles, bro. You're going to have some troubles.
Yeah, and they was, and that's the thing. They was both a good yin and yang, and I feel like now that they both going to their own respective organizations, we really about to see who's the dude, like who's really calling the shots.
Oh, bro, because look at Ime with them young pups in Houston. I like that.
That's gonna be that should be very fun. That should be very fun to watch.
He gonna get them mature quick. He gonna get them mature quick.
That was my main. I think that's the main thing. I think I like. It was like it's like almost like I almost look at it like football coaching. Like you're getting keys to the whole organization. It's almost like you can recruit. Like you can really like build a bond with these dudes. You a black dude, they black kids coming up in this league. You've been in the league before. They're gonna listen to you. So that's why I really liked the move.
Championship experience, learned behind a Hall of Fame coach.
Multiple.
He gonna have to pull. So he gonna be solid. But I do got the question though. Early, does Boston end it in the next game in Atlanta?
If I'm Boston, I need to. I need to. It's a must. Because I'm telling you, let it go 7. Shit. It's gonna be some
that'll be an ultimate meltdown. And then I ain't trying to start no rumors. But if I'm Jaylen Brown and we drop the ball like that, I'm looking at going somewhere and be the man. I'm going somewhere so I can be the man. I'm looking at. I'm going somewhere where I can be the man.
I feel like he's already thinking that, to be honest. But that's another topic.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. That is crazy to me. Anything else, brother, before we head out?
No. Just I had to come in and break some breaking news, so you gonna see us. So I told y'all, with some news drop, y'all gonna see us. I told y'all.
No. But hey, it is what it is. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you want to send any questions, comments, concerns, hit us up at nbacentralshow@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at NBA Central Pod. If you want to go ahead and respond to this episode or any other episode, provide a hot take, go ahead and call it in or send a text message at 773-270-2799. It's another episode of NBA Central. I'm Bobby with Stevo. We out. Bro.
Thank you for tuning in to the #1 place for your basketball fix, NBA Central, hosted by the Cognac Boys.